From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, October 21st, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,266 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $634. Antiwar.com reports the Russian ceasefire in Aleppo, initially 8 hours, but since extended to 11, has now been extended through Saturday, insisting they want to support efforts to get civilians out of the Nusra Front-held portions of Aleppo. There were reports of skirmishes on the ground near one of the designated evacuation zones, but no Russian airstrikes. The evacuations are slow-going so far, with pro-rebel activists urging civilians not to leave, claiming the ceasefire is a Russian lie and that the Russians will exterminate every civilian who tries to leave through the zones. The lack of formal UN involvement in the evacuation has also deterred many. That may change, however, with UN humanitarian officials saying they're planning a formal medical evacuation for wounded civilians on Friday, having received assurances that the ceasefire will last through that period. They did warn, however, that getting it organized that quickly will be difficult and anything could still go wrong to stop it. The US and EU have been pressuring Russia to halt all airstrikes against Aleppo permanently, while Russia has been urging them to get everyone away from the Al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front. While Russia has extended the ceasefire with the eye towards that happening, so far nothing is happening. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.xyz, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.xyz today to find out more. UPI reports a man slashed his own throat in a Santa Ana, California courtroom moments after he was convicted of sexual assault charges, according to local officials. Jeffrey Scott Jones, a former high school English teacher from Huntington Beach, California, cut his throat with a straight razor Wednesday immediately after he learned jurors had found him guilty of sexually assaulting a female teenage relative of his girlfriend. He was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Jones was out on bail during his trial. Senior Deputy District Attorney Heather Brown said right after the judge asked if we wanted jurors polled, both attorneys said no. He then took a razor out of his left pocket and slashed his throat. His head hit the table and I thought he'd fainted, but I saw the blood and the razor on the table. Lieutenant Mark Stitcher of the Orange County Sheriff's Office said there will be an investigation into how Jones was able to have a razor in the court and provide answers to that. Jurors deliberated for about 2 hours before arriving at a guilty verdict on 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child and 1 count of continuous sexual abuse. Jones faces up to 66 years in prison. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports U.S. safety regulators confirmed late Thursday an 11th death in the United States caused by a ruptured Takata Corporation airbag inflator, the latest fatality tied to the largest ever auto safety recall. At least 16 deaths, including 5 in Malaysia, are now linked to the defect that prompted the recall of nearly 100 million airbag inflators worldwide by more than a dozen automakers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said a 50-year-old woman died after a September 30th crash in Riverside, California in a 2001 Honda Civic that was first recalled in 2008 and never repaired. This is the first U.S. death reported from a Takata inflator since a 17-year-old high school senior died in Texas in March in a moderate-speed crash. Automakers have fixed about 11.4 million inflators in the United States thus far, leaving more than 20 million unrepaired. The defective airbag inflators deploy with too much force, sending metal fragments flying. Honda said in a statement on Thursday that more than 20 recall notices were mailed over nearly 8 years to the registered owners of the vehicle in the deadly California crash. Takata spokesman Jared Levy said the tragedy underscores the importance of replacing those airbag inflators that have been recalled by automakers. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.